Hello, welcome to another developer diary. In this developer diary, I'm sort of continuing what I was discussing in my Kickstarter post about creating a public expo demo build. Well, I don't know if you read the Kickstarter updates. We have lots of different updates, lots of different communities, but the Kickstarter updates are, I think they're pretty good, and if you're definitely interested in what we're up to, I seem to find plenty to write. I probably should put them on my own blog, but I suck at updating my own blog. Something to improve, I guess. Anyway, back to the actual thing I wanted to talk about. And it's very challenging to create a good demo for an expo thing like this, and it's tough, especially for something like Neverending Nightmares, because with Retrograde usually we just let them play, you know, one of 3 levels. Usually we have them start on the easiest level with the training and all that stuff, and then once they figure out the game, then we maybe let them play another level if there's time, or they come back. And I mean, that was relatively, I mean, it had pluses and minuses. Certainly it was, sometimes it took like 4 minutes for people to have the really game click, and so then they needed to play more to really appreciate what we were doing with that game. But, I mean, there were very clear levels, and you could come back and play something else. But with Neverending Nightmares, it's all about the mood and the atmosphere and the story, and there's a lot of build-up. And to me, there is a lot of time where you're just sort of walking around in the game and nothing's happening, and I think that is very important, and one of the things we're trying deliberately to do is not make too dense of a game, because you need that time to sort of get scared on your own, to see, you know, what might be lurking around the corner, and sort of dread it. And so the times sort of between the enemy setups, or between the jump scares, or between the different elements, is really time for you to reflect on the story and the tension, and sort of scare yourself. And so I think it's very important. But the problem is that doesn't really translate well to a show floor build, because, like, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I gotta play 3,000 games, or I have a meeting in 5 minutes, and, you know, like, and I mean, I know when I play games, E3, I usually don't. I don't do meetings at E3. I just play games. But even still, it's like, you know, sometimes I'm like, oh, people are waiting for this game, or, you know, like, I get the general idea, you know, I don't want to play this anymore. So, I mean, like, it's really tough to basically create something that's illustrates what the game is, that can be consumed in such a short period of time. And so, at least, and especially, you know, in a game like Neverending Nightmares, you know, that tension is important, but I don't feel like that tension really translates to when you're on the show floor, because you have all these other things going on, and so it's really distracting, and prevents the actual enjoyment and the actual you know, the actual tension from occurring. So I'm trying to basically sort of create a highlights demo where, you know, we just take some key elements that are sort of memorable, and the enemy setups, and strip out some other things, so people get the general idea of what we're doing. And it's not going to be as good of an experience, but I feel like that's probably better than either having a really long demo that people don't finish, or, you know, just a simple demo that doesn't, you know, show the highlights. So it's definitely a balancing act, and it's definitely challenging, and certainly for PAX, you know, we tried to create an isolation booth or whatever, where we put up like big black curtains. Well, no, it wasn't really curtains, it was just sheets, you know, to sort of black out a lot of the light. And, you know, we had headphones to help block out the sound, but I mean, even then, it didn't work perfectly, but I think it did really help sort of make the demo have that better environment for experiencing a horror game. I don't think we're going to do anything like that for PAX East just because of the logistics, and we're in the Kickstarter space, and so, and then, getting everything out to Boston is a challenge. But we'll probably do something similar again for PAX Prime. So anyway, that's my little rant on demo builds, or Expo show floor builds. That's what I wanted to call this developer diary. Show floor builds. Okay, thank you.